Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining what has been a crazy but a wonderful and enriching conversation this morning. So let's continue on that trend. Love is not just about finding the perfect person. It's about building the perfect or imperfectly perfect relationship. It's not the initial amount of love that matters, because there's always a lot of that, but it's the love that we cultivate over time. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you're probably too young. No, you will understand, because we're going to do a bit of a dive here. To master relationships, we must invest in both our outward appearance and our inner growth, okay? It sounds like an oversimplification, but it could just rest on that. And we lay the foundation for meaningful connections filled with love and fulfillment when we value ourselves, prioritizing emotional well-being and, yes, self-care in whatever that looks like to you. So joining us this morning, we delve deep into this topic. It's everyone's favorite relationship expert, certainly ours. Dr. Eve is back, psychologist Charles Davids, our lovely couple, Summer and Courtney. Welcome back, guys. And then brothers Austin and Gavin Edwards. I don't want to seem like I'm more excited to see Gavin than the rest of you, but I am a little bit, because I haven't seen him in about 20 years, dude. It's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here and for opening up. This is a safe place. So let's get real. Misconceptions about relationships. I've heard that it's the lack of meeting expectations that were initially laid out that forms the big downfall. But in your experience working in the coalface, why are relationships so difficult? Dr. Eve, go. 5 hours. It's yours.
Thank you. I'm going to stay away from the I guess the normative, Graham.
Yeah.
And because I work with the neurology of people, I really do believe, I was hearing you and you were talking about soulmates. I don't know, for me it's not soulmates. For me it's kind of pure science.
Yeah.
Is that one nervous system meets another nervous system, and we all feel from the beginning that this feels comfortable, this doesn't feel comfortable. Our bodies let us know that there is some tightness, which means, oh, red flags, we need to be careful. Remember, I always talk about red flags on the show.
And our bodies are built to read these sorts of things.
Absolutely.
We have like superhuman perception. Yeah.
Absolutely, we have an alertness, but we mostly squash it, and mostly women squash it. And then we get into this relationship, because oftentimes it's something which is called trauma bonding, something that we kind of used to from childhood. We used to struggle, we used to be in pain, we used to absorbing things that we shouldn't be absorbing, we used to accepting things we shouldn't be accepting. And so we get into relationships with people, and we find that actually this feels familiar, but it actually isn't healthy for us.
We're matching our baggage instead of our hopes and our dreams.
I love the way you say that. Absolutely. You're matching baggage instead of hopes and dreams. And we should be aspiring to something which is healthy and which is safe and which is consensual. And that would make for a relationship in which people can connect with each other in a healthier way.
Yeah, because when you're a team, it's so much greater than the sum of the parts.
Look at your hands, you know. So this is what relationship should bring, is expansiveness into your life. Not make your life narrower and limit you when you can't do that and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't be hanging out there.
It's about control.
Exactly, the control. So we want expansiveness, for you to be in a situation where you can be the best of who you are.
Okay, I love that. Before you start charging, because you charge us, I think, by the 7 minutes, so we can stop you there, Charles. Yeah, I hope you're writing notes, guys. Then how do we get this right? How do we lay the foundation when entering into a relationship? And I know marriage is slightly different than other relationships in that sense, but what should we be starting with when managing these expectations when two people come together?
So, Graham, I think the major thing is that people must remember that we, you know, this phrase that we're together in our separateness.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that we try, you know, people, what I find, people enter relationships and it's about, oh, I'm going to change him or her. And that's where the problem
Panel beating.
You know, and that's sometimes where the difficulty is, and it's about because you have to be yourself within a relationship, that we do things separately, but that we also do things together and find what is that togetherness that actually makes us grow. And that, I think, is it. And I mean, Dr. Eve is now speaking about that we go into relationship with our baggage. Because remember, where do we learn about relationships initially? It's a lot of times from our parents and the adults in our life.
What we see.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's what about what we observe and not other way around. And then we go and look for the dad or the mom in the person that we go and meet. and also want to perpetuate that relationship that was my parents' relationship initially.
Oh, for sure. I keep looking at my wife. I'm like, why aren't you an amazing single mom? What's going on here? Like, oh, because you're not a single mom and we're together. So what am I then with this? I get that completely. But we want to transcend that for our own kids, especially you, young couple. I love the fact that you have invested in a marriage, which means a bit of work, a bit of that dynamic tension that I'm talking about.
Bit of work.
A bit of work? Okay, well, somehow I'm going to start with you then. Explain that comment. No, does it feel like hard work, or does it feel like you're climbing something together? How have you kind of wrapped your heads around this narrative?
Graham, I think for me, when I started dating Kurt, it was the first time I had ever felt the relationship type of love in the sense of, okay, this is somebody that I want to see myself with. Not only that I can see myself with, but that I want to see myself with.
He matches that long-term projection.
He matches that. Because even though there were bad qualities, and everybody's got bad qualities, his good always outweighed his bad. And to me, the good qualities that he had was my bad qualities.
Yeah.
So I needed everything to, and that's where the togetherness comes, because everything that I'm bad at, he's incredible at. So he teaches me, he guides me, and I feel like that's how we've grown. We've grown considerably since our 7 years ago.
But that's fantastic. And you must put in the work, because that's the joy of being married, is that you've got a partner to be able to work through in that sense. You don't get to talk about you. You're only represented by one of you when you're a couple. Let's move to Austin and Gav.
Yes.
Brothers.
Yes.
So one would think that you're identical in the way that you live your life, because you've had the same influence. The baggage that was handed to you was the same suitcase.
Yeah, I just...
how different are you guys? And because I haven't seen you in so long, I'm going to start with Austin.
Well, the difference would begin in me being interested in men.
I've seen the way you look at me, Gav.
Gavin has a beautiful wife at home.
Don't tell
but I think not so different, because we've got a very close family. Our family bond is very close. So we look at that in the partners that we're with. As long as you get on with our family, you'll get on with us, and the dynamic works like that. I don't know, that's how I see it.
Yeah, we grew up in a family with 5 boys from my dad, 4 brothers, all married their whole lives. So we
no divorce.
Saw that, no divorce in it at all. So there was a big. When you grew up, family was very important, and keeping family together as well.
Yeah.
So I think from that aspect, we see everything identical, just a different.
And that, I mean, I'm glad people are seeing this, because I think people have preconceived notions about what's learned behavior in terms of our psychological, our sexual preference, all these things that we assume is something that you're taught throughout life stages versus the way you're built.
Love is love.
Love is love, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly the same. And I'm so glad that we can highlight just that one little subsection of this kind of conversation. But with having this kind of focus that feels very positive, are there elements of the way that you grew up and saw family that impact negatively in your life right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about that. You can compare notes, but I love the fact that that is a tough question to answer, which means that you have taken the best of that past and incorporated that into your current, your lived experience right now. Now, the boosted confidence and the deep sense of self-worth you'll be equipped with to navigate the ups and downs of relationships and ready to conquer challenges and create lasting happiness does start with how you value yourself. And that could be something as simple as just getting up and having a shave, making yourself look better so you feel a little bit better, so you can offer more within that space because you are empowering yourself. We're going to continue this discussion about love and relationships, and we want to hear from you. Do you believe in soulmates? Let us know on our social media pages. We'll see you in a bit.